guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Motivation Monday. Today I have 10 bad habits that we should try and break in 2018. If you are struggling with your New Year's resolutions and your goals for 2018, then these might be some ideas that you could add to your list of things that you would like to achieve this year. And I will actually have a link in the description to my blog where all of these 10 points are written out for you so that you can go back and check them at any time. And there will be another link under that if you guys would like to follow my blog via Blog Lovin'. I hope to blog a lot more this year. I actually have been enjoying it. And yeah, that's kind of one of my goals. I'm going to try and blog a little bit more. So these 10 things are quite simple. They're not very hard habits to break, and hopefully they will put you on the right track to leading a much more positive, happy, and healthy life. So let's get started. The first one is slouching, and this is a really bad habit of mine. I like to hunch over. It's just comfortable, and then I catch glimpses of myself in like shop windows or mirrors, and I'm just like, oh, you look so bad being hunched over. I love that when you are upright and you've got the right posture, that you look confident and happy, and there's just like a better energy about you when you hold yourself in like the correct way. So I really want to stop slouching because it's really not good for your body. It can cause pain in the shoulders and neck and back, which is obviously something we want to avoid, and it can have long-term effects as well. And I think when you do correct your posture and you stand the right way, it also does kind of kick into your confidence and you do act and feel a little bit better, and that might help with your overall happiness and positivity. Number 2 is stop social withdrawal. I know that it is so easy to say no to invites and stay home in your comfort zone where it's warm and snuggly and doing your comfort things. But a couple times a month, you've got to say yes and go out with friends. You've got to have social interaction. It's so important to have real social interaction, not just social media and texting. You need to get out. You need to be with your friends, work on those relationships, because otherwise you're going to become very isolated. It can really get your mood down and you might start to lose some relationships, and that's obviously not what you want. So just a couple times a month. You don't have to say yes to every invite, but do say yes to a couple because you do need to get out. Don't isolate yourself. Number 3 is bad self-talk. We need to stop bad self-talk. I think we cut ourselves down way too much. We're way too hard on ourselves. Learn to be kinder to yourself and remind yourself of the things that you like about yourself. And if you're sitting here and you're going to try and tell me that you hate everything about yourself, that is a lie. I know that you can find something that you like about yourself. It could be the tiniest thing, but you need to focus on the things that you like about yourself. Repeat them to yourself. Tell your mirror exactly what you like about yourself, because once you are starting to hear these things, you start to learn them, and then eventually your confidence will pick up, you'll be more happier, you'll love life, you'll love yourself, and you'll be leading a much more happier and positive life when you stop cutting yourself down, when you stop being mean to yourself. When you're nice and kind and positive to yourself, things will change. Number 4 is dwelling on your failures and playing the victim. I think so many of us try and palm the blame and responsibility when something goes wrong to everyone and everything else. And that's not how it works. It's not healthy. We need to step up and take responsibility when things don't work, learn from them and move on, and make sincere and genuine apologies when we do mess up, and just don't dwell on it. Because if you are thinking it over and constantly churning up inside about something that is in the past and it's out of your control, it's going to drag you down. Accept it, take responsibility, and let it go. Start focusing on the future. Start focusing on what you learned from the situation and move forward. So take responsibility and don't dwell on the past and the failures and the things that went wrong. Number 5, indecisiveness. We've got to stop being indecisive over the little things in life. Yes, take time to make the bigger decisions, but the little things like what to have for dinner, just make a decision, because it's not going to have a major effect on your life. It's just going to be like, okay, well, maybe this didn't work out. Next time I could just go to the next restaurant or the other restaurant we were thinking of or whatever. So spend less time worrying, because it can cause you to get like worked up, to have bad energy, put you in a bad mood, maybe fight with someone, and then you end up even maybe making a decision very last minute that's not even what you wanted in the first place. So just make the small decisions. Just be decisive. It's not going to have major effects on your life, and just accept it. And then they're usually decisions that you can retrace and go back on and change if you need to. Number 6 is saying yes too often. We cannot keep saying yes to everything. I have a really bad habit of this. Every time I get an invite somewhere, I'm always saying yes, and then I run myself out of time in other areas of my life, and it causes me to stress out. And then I don't get any me time, and then I don't get time to reset, and I burn out and I get sick, and that is exactly what happened just before Christmas. And it's okay to say no. Don't say no to everything, but you don't have to say yes to everything either. If you don't feel like doing something and you know you've put in effort somewhere else, then you can say no. But just stop saying yes to please everybody else. Sometimes you have to say no. Number 7, using technology right before bed and in bed. I know that there is a huge difference on the nights that I'm using technology, watching TV and being on my phone right up until I'm sleeping, and the nights where I cut it off an hour or two before I'm going to bed. The nights that I cut it off, I sleep so much better. I get a much better sleep. I feel rested when I wake up in the morning. And it's the other nights where I'm on technology. For example, last night I was on technology right until I fell asleep, and I can't fall asleep, and it's so frustrating. You toss and you turn, and then you have this sleep where you keep waking up in the middle of the night, and then you don't feel rested in the morning. So we have to stop this. I think this is like my number 1, because I've been doing it off and on, and I can definitely tell the difference from when I do it to when I don't do it. And I just want to not do it all the time. I want every night to be like 8 p.m. technology cut off. I think that's good, or even 9 p.m. depending on what time you go to bed. Just cut it off and like read a book or chat to people that you're with, or just sit down and chill out, because that's the best way to wind down to get the best night's sleep. Number 8 is binge watching TV and social media, and I think we're all probably really good at this. I was listening to a podcast the other day where it stated that people these days will, skip an entire season of a TV show and then just binge it at the end, and it's not healthy. It's not good to just like do that anymore. I think it's about going back to the old days where you'd have to wait a week to watch a TV episode. Like, go back to watching 1 episode a week, or with the internet, back when I was growing up, we would get like a limit from our parents for an hour of internet, mostly because that's all the internet was kind of capable of back then, or we actually had to log off the internet and plug the phone back in if someone needed to make a phone call. And I think we need to kind of go back to those practices where we're not sitting there and watching 10 episodes of a TV show. Limit yourself to 1, maybe 2, and come back a few days later or a week later, or, limit your internet interaction, because I know that when I get too absorbed into the internet or a TV show and then I switch it off, it's like I'm so disconnected from reality and I almost feel a little bit ugh. So I just like to limit the amount of time that I'm spending on the internet, and I have shorter stints of like internet and TV, and kind of go to and forth from it, rather than spending hours and hours and hours on the internet, or hours and hours and hours watching TV. Number 9 is staying indoors. It's so easy to just stay indoors, be comfortable, sit on your phone or your computer, and it's really not good for you. Vitamin D is good for you. Obviously not excessive amounts of sun, because you don't want to get burnt. And fresh air and exercise. Why not go for a walk? Walking is like one of my favorite things to do. I love it, especially like when I'm in suburbia, or if there's a park nearby. It's just so nice to go outside and go for a walk. I know it's difficult in winter, but if you can rug up and you don't mind the cold and you don't mind the fresh air, then just go for a walk. Even if it's just around the block once, at least you got outside. You can kind of say it's something you've achieved, and you got fresh air and were active, which is so important. And number 10 is to eat less sugar. There is sugar in pretty much everything we eat. I do not buy anything from the aisles in supermarkets. I only buy fresh produce and like eggs and meat, and that's it. I don't buy any of the processed foods because they're full of sugar. Even the savory stuff like pasta sauces are full of sugar, and I don't want to put processed sugar in my body. And if you do have a sweet tooth and you love sugar, eat fruit. That is nature's sugar, and it's a way that you can kind of have your sugar fix, but in a more healthy way. So I think sugar is a really good thing to cut out. Maybe I need to make a video about the way that I do my grocery shopping and the kinds of foods that I buy, but cutting out sugar, or at least minimizing your sugar intake, is going to be so good for you. So those are my 10 bad habits that we should try and break in 2018. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Up the top here, you can check out my last video. Down the bottom, I will leave a link to another one of my videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.